Hi everyone, my name's Simon and welcome back to Walking with Whitey. In today's episode, I'm going to be taking a look at a brand new tent. Now this tent is being advertised as the only tent that you're ever going to need. And that's the Otimos Lite Nomad Solo 4-season tent. So let's have a look. So straight out of the box, this is what you got. You've got the main tent itself, and I've opted for the extra footprint. These two combined price wise was just a shade over £300. Let's look at the dimensions next. Again, this is with the poles and the pegs in. I'm sure the actual tent itself would scrunch down a little bit lower. So the length is approximately 40 centimeters. And the width is approximately 17 centimeters. The weight of the tent, including the poles and the pegs, is 1,790 grams. And the footprint is 209 grams. So altogether, just a shade under 2 kilograms. Let's open the tent up and see what's inside. First of all, it's got this really handy burrito style bag with quick release clips. So I guess let me just undo that, undo the draw cord. Really handy for when you're trying to put it away. Okay, so it comes all tied together. Spin it up. Here's the pegs, which we'll go into in a minute. And the poles, and the inner and outer fly. You have 3 sets of poles that are color coded. You've got 2 sets with red ends and 1 set with black ends. And these are 8.5mm 7001 T6 aluminium outer poles. In the peg bag, you've got 12 6-inch lightweight pegs, each weighing approximately 9 grams, and you've also got a spare pole sleeve and a small bit of fabric for a repair kit. So let's start setting this tent up. Before we start, a full disclosure, I have seen one of these in action a couple of weekends ago. My friend bought one. I've had my eye on it since I've heard that they were coming out. My friend brought one and I was really impressed with it, and that's why I've ordered it. So I do know some things about it, but most of this I'm doing for the very first time. So first things first, let's extend the poles. That was a red one. This is the other red one. Which are both the same length. And then you've got the black one. All clipping into place quite nicely. And this is the black one. And it is slightly smaller. I think the next thing I'm going to do is lay out the footprint. Now I've seen firsthand a couple of weekends ago, this can be a bit tricky if you get it wrong the first time. It does knock the tautness out for the rest of the tent. So I might get it right, I might not get it right. I've seen a popular YouTube video as well. He gets it wrong to start with, but then corrects it halfway through the video. So we'll get this laid out and we'll see how this looks. It has got toggles, as you can see here. I believe it's 4 toggles, which will clip onto the actual tent itself. It's actually 6 toggles, Next, the inner and outer fly, I believe, are attached. So I'll just roll this over the top now. That will become more apparent a little bit later on. Just lay that over there like so to start with. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is connect the toggles from the ground sheet to the fly. And I'm just hoping I've got it all the right way round. Which, as you can see here, it doesn't look like I do. So I'm just going to move this around. So let's spin this around. Try it this way. This looks a little bit better. But I guess we'll see once we start putting the poles in and it starts taking shape. Okay, so that's the ground sheet now connected to the fly. Next, start putting the poles in. On the end of each pole, you've got 2 red ends and 1 black end. If I bring you over to the tent now, you can see that clips on one end are red, and also there's 2 sleeves in the middle that have got bits of red fabric in it, so you can see it will all marry up. And with the black one, you've got a black clip there and a black clip there. So let's start putting the poles in. So first I'm going to start with the red poles. So I've got my red pole here. I'm looking for the sleeve in the middle. There's no wind today, else normally I would have pegged the corners in, but I can do it like this. And I'll put it right down through the middle, and then I'm just going to clip in one end to the clip like so. Get the other red one and do exactly the same. And clip it in like so. Then I'm going to go round to the other side and start propping up the poles. That's one there. And one there. Okay, so as you can see, already starting to take shape. Now let's get the black pole. Now I'm not entirely sure whether this goes above or below the red poles, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it over the top and see how we get on. So I'll put this one in the clip first. And then in there like so. And then what we can do is start attaching the clips to make it a taut tent. So what I'm going to do first is, there's ones here, which I'm just going to attach the first one. So the black pole doesn't slip away from me. So I'll just do that there. And now I'll start attaching the clips. The clips clip in really easy. I'll leave that one out so I can show you a little bit closer up, but they're dead easy. And that's it all clipped into place. As you can see, these clips just clip on like so. These ones here where the poles actually cross over, you can see they're a quick release, so you just clip on and then you just pull them up like so, and that keeps it nice and tight. So you saw how easy that was to set up. It's the first time I've done this by myself and managed to do it quite quickly. And what I do absolutely love about this tent is freestanding. If I don't like where I set it up, I can just take the peg out, plonk it down. You've got YKK zips. And another good feature about this tent, if I can find it, where is it? Somewhere along here. Here it is. There's another clip that's exactly the same as the ones on the poles. Clip that on there. Look at that. So a little tour around now. So the outer fly is constructed from 20D nylon ripstop with a single side silicone coating, and it's got a 3000mm hydrostatic head on it. Inside, the floor is 20D nylon ripstop, a single side silicone coating with a 4000mm hydrostatic head. The inner is breathable 15D nylon ripstop walls and 20D nylon mesh. So this bit that I said will become apparent more later is a nice little feature that Otimos have done. Let me see if I can get it done the first time. So as you can see, it turns that section of the vestibule into a little storage area, waterproof storage area, which could come in handy for kit, equipment, food. Let's open up the tent and have a look inside. So these zips again, YKK, really easy to use. Roll it up and there's a little pocket just there. Let's have a look inside. First thing is you've got two quite large vents. You've got one in the vestibule there, right opposite some mesh, and you've got one over there. Got a hook for your light, which is handy. Got two small pockets in each corner there. You've also got a washing line here for any wet kit. And let's get the tape measure out and start measuring the inner. Okay, so length inside. Is approximately 210. The width at the widest point is approximately 100 centimeters, and at what I'm assuming is the foot end, the width is approximately 48 centimeters, and at the head end roughly 68 centimeters. If I sit inside, I'm not touching the top, which is handy. That's good. I'm about 5'9", 5'10". Yeah, and I've got room to sit in here, which is good. The big tester for me with this tent is my sleeping mat. I have the Big Agnes Rapid SL in regular wide, and I absolutely love it, and I don't see myself changing it out anytime soon. So let's get it pumped up, get it inside and see how it looks. With my Big Agnes put in there, as you can see, you've still got plenty of room for kit inside as well. You've got about a foot here, and you've got just over a foot there, so that is a massive bonus. Very happy so far. So another feature that this tent boasts is that you can pull out the door and make a kind of shelter. So I've got a trekking pole, got an extra guy line, got some pegs. Let's see if I can make it work. So I'm guessing you use this bit here. I wonder if you can zip it up just a little bit, because I guess rain can get in there like that. It'd be like that. So you wouldn't need a high trekking pole. Yeah, I can see how that would work. Could be quite a handy feature. Okay, so let's go on to the points that, in my very, very novice opinion in this field, that can be potentially improved on. The first one being these sleeves on the top. Now I've seen an excellent video by Steve, the Geordie Wild Camper. He's putting this tent up in very, very strong winds, and from what I've seen of other tents, it's a lot easier if you can build it up from the bottom, just clipping it one clip at a time until you get to the top. Obviously you can't do that with this tent because you have to put it through the sleeves at the top, and he was battling against the wind. He did it in the end, but it probably would have just been a lot easier if there was clips on top. So that would be my first thing. However, I will say he did do it, and you know, this tent withstood some howling winds in that video. It's definitely worth watching. The other thing is the pockets. two tiny little pockets. I mean, they're okay for a torch and something else, but not much after that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one long one across here or something wouldn't go amiss. And the other thing is the outer zip. If the weather is howling and you want to cook in the vestibule, a double zip would benefit this, so you could just maybe zip it down a little bit and let some air go out that way. However, saying that, there's a caveat to that. There's a vent right there, so maybe they've done that with that in mind. I'm not sure. Like I say, it's just my own personal opinion. But apart from that, I can't say anything else. Let's move on to the good things about this tent. The first thing I gotta say is the price. Just a shade over £300 for everything you see here, minus the sleeping mat obviously. And for a lightweight 4-season tent that is very rigid, I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The ease of how it gets put up is very good, and the fact that it's freestanding, so you can pick it up and move it if you need to, is a big bonus. The guy out points, I mean, I haven't even got them out, it's not needed today, but as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guy out points, and there's also extra peg out points, as you can see there. So once that's all out, it's going to withstand the wind very, very well indeed. So my final summary of this tent. Like I said, there's 3 that I've seen already, really well established YouTubers that have reviewed this tent. You've got Paul Mesner, Chris Gleave and Steve, the Geordie Wild Campers, and they have all done amazingly good reviews. They are well seasoned hikers. Now I want you to look at it from my point of view. I'm just starting out in all of this, and I don't have the experience or the budget to go for the £7,000, £8,000, £9,000 4-season tents. So when you're just starting out and you're looking for a tent that's going to do most jobs for a shade over £300, this is perfect. As you've seen from my previous review, I've got a Durston X Mid, and I believe between that and this, that's me covered. Famous last words, I know, but that's me covered for the foreseeable future until such a time where I feel I can afford to upgrade to, you know, dare I say it, the Nortents, the Hillebergs, all those kind of brands. So starting out, this is the perfect tent. Otimos, the company itself, I ordered this a couple of days ago and it came through the post very quickly, being really easy to work with. I bought the tent thinking that the footprint came with it and realised it didn't, so then I ordered it, but luckily they saw that on the system and put it all together for me and sent it all together. So points to take away from this: there are a few little things that I would improve, but again, that's just my opinion. But there are a few little things that are niggly, but they're not going to affect the main use of this tent. My overall opinion of this tent is it's brilliant for the price you pay. And I am really, really looking forward to getting this out and using it on a hilltop somewhere. Thanks very much for watching. If you've liked this first look at the tent, please give it a like and subscribe. The channel's growing nicely, but it's always good to have a few extra subscribers. As you're starting to see now, every other Friday I'm releasing a hiking backpacking or wild camping video at midday. And then on the alternate Fridays, I'm starting to publish a first look at either a new piece of equipment or a bit of equipment I've already got. So if you like the way the channel's going, why don't you follow me along? I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Take care everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.